But let's hit the mech bay first. And first and foremost, we need to get all of our mechs repaired, as best we can at least. We mostly just took some superficial damage on the Hunchback, which is good, easy enough to fix. Did we lose something else? Okay, Battle Fist, we already repaired that, so I'm not worried about it. So yeah, we'll go ahead and validate that. That'll get the Hunchback back in working order.
I'll let you know when that's done.
Again, the Panther didn't take anything other than some random internal damage. I think we did lose one of the SRMs on the Commando, though. Yeah, we did lose one of the SRMs. I think we've got an SRM-4. Yeah, we've got an SRM-4 that we can use to repair it. So let's go ahead and repair everything first. Stick another SRM-4 in there, and we should be good on that. I would love to put a little more armor on this thing. Let's see. If we stick some Pharaoh in this, that doesn't really give us anything to play with. Yeah. Unfortunately, Pharaoh doesn't do a whole lot for light mechs because they don't have a whole lot of tonnage and armor to begin with. You did take some light armor damage, but that's about it, Hurst. It wasn't anything to sneeze at. But yeah, I think we go ahead and fix that too.
Right. I'll get it.
And yeah, that'll get all of our mechs repaired. Now we can head into the storage and we can get the Grasshopper up. So let's see. I wish it would tell me what the default loadout for these things was before I build them. Unfortunately, it does not. Well, good to see you, GT. Glad you could catch us live. Hopefully you're enjoying the content on the YouTube, but we're quite a bit further ahead here on ye olde purple site. 6 missile launchers and an ERP PC. Or, I'm sorry, 6 medium lasers. I don't know why I thought that was missile launchers. I mean, I wouldn't turn my nose up at an all-energy ERP PC variant. So yeah, it looks like, according to the description at least, the 5J is replacing the large laser with an ER large laser. So I think the N is the way to go. Yeah, still don't have the awesome. We're not quite that far yet, but we're getting closer every day. We're running into more 70 tons on every mission, so it's only a matter of time before we start to see assault mechs. I think we go with the N, just for the ERPVC, if nothing else. So we'll take that, we'll put it together, and then we'll see what kind of mech bay heresy we can commit with this Grasshopper. Alright. Oh, look at it. You know, I gotta say, I know that the Grasshopper isn't a great mech, but I really like the way it looks for some reason. Like, it's just, like, I like this look. Maybe it's just me. Oh yeah, no, I went for the stupidest colors. Let's see, I mean, I kind of like that one. I like having the contrasting stripes. This one's good too. Same reason. Well. I mean, I don't know. Oh, where'd the other, like, flame-like paint job go? I guess we go with this one. Just give it some nice clean lines, but goofy colors. I think that's the way to go. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we can do with this thing. So, we got a PPC. We got medium lasers out the wazoo. including one in the head for some reason. So I think first order of business is, can we ditch the PPC for the ER version? We can, because it's the same weight. And man, I wish I had a double heatsink kit that I could put in this thing, because that would definitely improve its performance. But, so right now, yeah, the GT, the Treb is now more useful than it was. It was a lot more useful when we had streak launchers in it, but we recently lost one of those launchers and haven't been able to replace it, so... in the meantime, I have stuck a rocket launcher on it because I'm a redneck and that's what rednecks do. Alright, so let's see. I'm sorry, I'm missing a lot of chat here, so... Oh, you guys are talking about paint. Ditch the PPC, go all medium lasers. I mean, I could do that. Let's see what we got as far as lasers, because what I would like to do is replace some of the lasers either with ER versions, which we don't have that many of, but we have a bunch of pulses. Only problem is the pulse laser's way more. So, you know, by ditching the ER PPC, we give ourselves enough weight that we might be able to turn this into a pulse laser boat. I mean, if we're gonna commit heresy. I say we fully commit. I would too if we had that. I think we might have some triple strength. Let me see. Do we have triple strength? Nah, we got mask though. It's not the same thing, but it's kind of the same thing. Let's see. Let's see. If we were gonna go with lasers, and I say I'm going to do nothing but medium pulse lasers, is that a thing that we can do? Because that would give us a lot of damage potential, even if it's very, very close range. So we do that, we do that, we do that. That's going to put us a little over tonnage, so we take one out. Is that enough damage, though, is the question. Is 6 medium pulse lasers really worth it on a grasshopper? Like, I know that part of the issue with the grasshopper is that it's very undergunned for its weight. But I feel like just 6 medium lasers on a 70-ton mech feels like a waste. Because if I got the right variant, I could put 6 medium lasers on a hunchback. I mean, it'd be slow as balls, but it would still have the same damage potential. Let's see. And, I mean, I guess it's got jump jets, so that's a thing, too. I think we continue to put the friggin' heat sinks in the torso because I just don't like having to replace them. But here's what I think we can do. We can go with, in the internals, we do have some ferro. So if we put ferro in it, then we can potentially add some additional armor. And then we try to throw in an XL engine, which again, we're being very, very dangerous. We might even be able to drop the ferro because we're not gaining that much from it. But then I can max the armor and that still gives us like 4 tons and a little over that we can play with. So then we put another pulse in the torso. Is it? Yeah, I guess if we're gonna commit heresy, let's go full heresy and go ahead and put a clan XL in there. I wish we could put double heat sinks in, but I still don't have a double heat sink kit. That's very frustrating. We don't, I was hoping we had like a 300 engine, because we could probably, if we had a 300, we could stick it in here, and that would gobble up the last couple of tons. Do we have ECM? I don't really ever, oh yeah, we do, we have Guardian. I mean, that wouldn't be terrible for a grasshopper, make him harder to hit. Eh. Can you? I thought the freezer counted as a double heatsink. Well, first of all, let's do this. I'm gonna stick the Guardian in here. I'll put it in the head, why not? It still leaves us half a ton. But let's have a look at the freezer, which I think was... Let's just do this. So, can I... Oh, no shit! No shit! Kairos, my friend. Yeah, eat me. There we go. There we go. Normally I would agree with you, Bamboozle, but, I don't eject. Then again, I don't have any control over my people ejecting, but it's not a bad idea, so let's do this. We'll take the pulse out of the torso, put the Guardian in the torso, and then I'll put the other pulse in the head. There we go. Put the pulse laser in the head, so we're still keeping our damage potential. And honestly, what do we got in the way of supports? Because we could stick some flamers on there, we could stick some small lasers on there. We still got a ton and a half to play with. Yeah. Nah, I never like head lasers, but there are so many mechs that have them. Oh, you know what? Yeah, a tag would actually be a great fucking idea. So we stick a tag on there, that's gonna be 1 ton. And then the smalls are a half ton each. So, stick that on there? AMS? Do we have an AMS? I don't think we do. Isn't the AMS counted as a support weapon, if I remember right? 'Cause yeah, I don't think we have an AMS, unfortunately. Potentially, yeah. So let's see. Let's look at our heat efficiency here. So heat efficiency, we're sinking 88 heat per turn. We're gonna do alpha 82 heat. So theoretically, if we left everything exactly the way it is, we could full alpha every single turn. And we would not be building up any heat. Yeah, I'm checking this. We don't have anything currently. But right now, with the current setup that we have, we could full alpha every turn. Now, we could drop a couple of heat sinks and potentially add more support weapons. So if I drop 1 heat sink, I mean, we're still sinking 84 heat. So if I drop another heat sink, yeah. So this, I think, is a good compromise because we're sinking 80 heat. We're getting 82. Our delta is 2. So we're going to get a little bit hot, but it's only 2 heat, and that's if we fire everything. Now, obviously, that's going to change a little bit when I stick a couple more small lasers in here. So let's put 1 more heat sink back into it. And then if we stick the small lasers in here again, let's see what that does to it. So on a full alpha now, we're looking at 92 heat. I don't know. I've never actually used the freezer before. Let's see. Freezer heatsink has better performance. Cannot be mounted with anything other than standard heat sinks. Component provides 8 dissipation. Doesn't say anything about blowing up. I mean, we can do that. Move 1 laser each to the arms. So what I'm thinking, we still have space for more small lasers. So we're talking about the heat. Right now, if we take this off and we didn't have the small lasers, we were only building up 2 heat per turn on a full alpha. Now what I'm thinking though is the small lasers are not going to be getting used every turn. They're only going to be getting used on the turns where we're really, really close. So in theory, by removing 1 heatsink, it says that we're hurting our efficiency? But that's only going to be in the rare cases where we're right up next to the enemy. So by removing that heatsink, we can then put more lasers in there. And again, with the alpha, we're going to be over our limit. But that's only going to be in those cases. I mean, I'm all for laser vomit. Like, just turn this thing into a laser shotgun. But I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you think? Do we go with maximum laser, or do I pull out 2 of the smalls, put in a heatsink, and try to keep our heat under control? I mean, either way, I think we've got a good mech here. The only concern that I have, and if you guys are paying any attention to what's going on right now, you're gonna know what the concern is that I have. And the concern that I have about this design right now, other than the fact that we are relying on a lot of weapon systems here that we will not be able to immediately replace, is that number right there. I mean, this is almost 2 million C-bills to make this happen. Do we even have another freezer heatsink is the question. No, we don't. We just have the 1. Yeah, I don't think we can do this yet, but what I can do, thankfully, praise the Lord, and, well, praise Bloody Doves and the BTA team for giving you the ability to save templates. So, we may not do this right away, but I will try to increment it. So we're not going to be using the grasshopper right away, but I will try to slowly build this thing up. So what are we calling this thing, first of all? That's something that I didn't even think about. If we're going to commit Mech Bay heresy, we gotta give it a name. I'm not opposed to Cornholer. Cornholer could be a good name. It's a little on the nose. I prefer a little more subtlety, but I could go for Cornholer. Cornhole Ninja, okay, that's, again, a little on the nose, but I can dig it. Ass on grass, okay, alright. Light show could work, yeah, that's... Light show's a little classier. George. I mean, how can I turn down George? Is clearly the best name that anyone has ever come up with. However, I'll do you one better. Instead of George, we call it Cletus. Look, Ernst, I'm not saying we're classy. I'm saying we need to give off the appearance of being classy. Now you're just getting dirty with it, Bolo. All right, here we go. I'm gonna give you guys. I will narrow it down, and I would do a poll, but I don't want to dick around with it. So I'm just gonna ask you guys. I'll narrow it down to 3 options. Either we go the cornholer, ass on grass, or light show. What do you guys think? Alright, so we got 2. That's a fair argument, Gravelite. Light show does kind of gel with the Disco Inferno that we're already running, which honestly, the Disco Inferno is just a smaller version of what we're trying to do right now. So I got 2 votes for cornholer, 3 votes for light show, and 1 vote for I don't give a shit. Oh, I don't know. Guys, a new challenger has appeared. We got that 4th quarter, that 2nd string Hail Mary, Saturday Night Fever, guys. Alright, Saturday Night Fever. Now, do we really want to spend the vast majority of our liquid assets to make this happen? Bug Zapper? Alright, hey. I'll tell you what, Rex, we will keep, cause I got my notebook, I'm gonna keep Bug Zapper on the back burner, cause I got a feeling we're going to build another one of these at some point. But, I am actually partial to Saturday Night Fever because it really does go with the theme of the Disco Inferno as well. Alright, I think we will put this one on the back burner for now. I'm gonna save the template. And I'm just gonna call it SNF. We know what it means. And we will leave this as stock for now. But once we've made a little bit more money, we'll go back and we'll put this puppy together. So we got a design, we know what we're doing. Now we just need to make a little more money to make it happen. Yeah, I mean, we got pulse lasers, we got small lasers, we got tags so we can increase accuracy. So, now we just need to go make some money. Speaking of, let's see what, well, first of all, I'm not even gonna check the command center yet because we gotta wait out our mech bay stuff. So let's do that. Let the mech bay stuff get done. And we got a financial report in about 3 weeks, little over 3 weeks. Oh no, I never claim to know what we're doing. I mean, I know what I'm doing and that's having a good time, but as for the whole professionalism thing, nah. We get paid to blow shit up, and I'm gonna do that in the most entertaining way possible. But of course, if the client asks, oh yeah, we're professionals. We absolutely know what we're doing. We've done this a million times. In the meantime, I would love to wait for Game Master to be off of infirm so that we could put him back in his hetzer, but waiting another 3 weeks is gonna be a while, so. Yeah, Sierra, we actually did. We managed to salvage the grasshopper from the last mission, and we spent probably the last 20 or 30 minutes spitballing in the mech lab to turn it into another mech bay heresy. And I think we came up with a good design, but it's going to cost us 1.7 mil to make it happen. So we're going to need to make a little more money before we can actually do what we wanted to do with it. So let's see, what do we got? We got a patrol. I think this is the same patrol we were looking at before. We got a blackout mission, but I don't... Blackout missions can be a pain in the ass, so I don't know if I want to do that one. So it's basically the same missions as what we were looking at before. I mean, we could do the battle. Yeah, it's, again, I set it at 5K for right now. Erst's put in his 5K because he asked during the last stream if he could be on the team because he didn't have the points yet, but I have been making exception for founders because, you know, that's one way that I can reward you guys for being some of the first folks to sub to the channel, so I will make an exception for you as well, Bolo, since you do have that shiny first badge next to your name. I don't know if we want to hire any new pilots. I think I would much rather just rename one of the existing pilots. So let's see. I'll make it one of the newer ones, because some of the older pilots I've kind of... I've memorized their names. How about... Let's see. Well, most of our new pilots are vehicle pilots, so that doesn't work either. Yeah, I didn't see any duels, at least not in the system that we're in right now. But before, we weren't really in a place where I felt comfortable dueling because our lance kind of sucked. But now that we're in a better place, I feel like I'm more comfortable if we ran into it. Yeah, Carrick has both, but I've been using her as a vehicle pilot, so I've got her spec'd out for vehicle skills. Maybe I do hire a new pilot. Because we are still finding ourselves in situations where we don't have enough people. So it might be better to hire a new pilot. Let's see. We can probably find somebody that's got a little bit of experience at least. Maybe not. Nah, everybody that's available is a damn rookie. Well, poop. I guess we can do Clem. Clem is probably the best one to get. Has the highest gunnery out of everybody available and can do vehicles and mechs. So that gives us flexibility. No special skills, but most of this is kind of poo-poo, so. So yeah, well, we'll hire whoever this Clem person is. And, you will be the new one. Alright, Bolo. Yeah, whenever I get new pilots, I always try to get one with 4 gunnery if I can, and if not, I'll usually try to pick the one that has the highest gunnery out of the ones available. Alright, so we got our mech-based stuff taken care of, we get our new pilot in the barracks, so that's going to give us the ability to fill more units. I think we hit the command center, and I think depending... We've got enough time for one more mission at least, maybe 2, depending on whether we can wrap this first one up quickly. I'm thinking we either do the patrol or we do the blackout. I'm a little more partial to the patrol, even though it's a lower payout. But the blackout has higher salvage. So what do you guys think? Do we go for the higher payout on the battle, or do we go for the higher salvage on the blackout? Because the blackout, I mean, that could be anything. It could end up being a frickin' escort mission or something. But usually the dollar value or the C-bill value of the contract is the best indicator of difficulty, not the salvage. It's like sometimes you'll see a mission like this where it's only 675k, it turns out to be a cakewalk, and you get a bunch of salvage from it. So, now that I've actually thought about it a little bit, I think that's what we'll do. We'll go full salvage, and hopefully it'll be a simple enough mission. Well, Seer, if you remember, the first mission that we did last stream was a 1.5 skull mission as well, and it was very, very similar to this, and we ended up against a warhammer and a catapult, so you never know. And even if we don't get decent chances, like if we don't get decent salvage, I can always just sell the stuff. So I think we go with max salvage, and whatever we don't want, we sell, and that'll get us that much closer to putting together our grasshopper of heretical proportions. Alright, so we've got the standard team. Because we can take another mech, I think we absolutely do. But that involves us having to drop one of our vehicles. So the question is, do we drop the APC and the tag, or do we drop the galleon? Because I'm going to take the Hetzer no matter what. Yeah, we don't need the tag. I think we'll drop the APC. And, I don't want to damage the grasshopper or potentially get it destroyed, so we'll go ahead and put the Hollander in, since we've been without the artillery for a little while. And Bolo, I think I'll put you in the Hollander for now. So, in this... How? This is something that I was talking with one of the folks in the YouTube comments as well, is one of the things that I plan to do. Car, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. But one of the things that I plan on doing is respecking some of our pilots as time goes on. I'm focusing on the fundamentals and really focusing hard on gunnery in the early game, just so that we can get our pilots experienced. But as we start to get, you know, a better selection of heavy mechs and assault mechs, and really start to specialize our lance, I'm definitely going to be respecking pilots to, like, spec their skills for the mech that they're piloting, instead of just doing what we're doing now, where it's very generalist skills. I tend to focus on gunnery and tactics early, just so that you get the information you need and you can actually hit the targets. But yeah, like if we start getting our hands on melee specialized or like long range specialized, I'm not against respecking pilots to fit them to the role that they're going to be playing. So yeah, just because I've put points into certain skills now doesn't mean that we necessarily have to keep those pilots that way. I'm starting to think now that I do need to focus a little more on getting the vehicle tonnage up. But we'll do that. Oh, shit. That's right. There's something I forgot to do. Don't worry, we're going to get into the mission here shortly. Number 1, engineering. So I don't forget about that. And that's what I wanted. So we're going to purchase that. It's only 225k. The other thing was, and I forget who it was now because my memory is terrible. Who was it that wanted to see some stuff in the mech bay so that they could get some ideas for painting? Or did you get all the information and the screen captures that you needed for that? Was that you, Graveline? Or Graveline? I forget. Somebody was trying to paint stuff in this paint scheme. Let me see. Is it too far up in the chat? Can I scroll up? Okay. Well, did you get everything you needed, or do you want to have a better look? I mean, you can see here just from a few of these mechs, like, I'm basically just going purple and orange and focusing a lot on, like, straight lines and stuff, but, you know, feel free to take creative liberties. But if you're happy with your screen caps, then we'll go ahead and get into the mission. We were doing this one, the Blackout. The Treb and the Panther. Alright. To the mech bay. So the Treb, this is the one that we're running. Can I not zoom out? Oh, you gotta click on the camera buttons. So here's the Treb. I'll give you the front if you want to get a screen grab of that. And then let me know when you've got a screen grab, and then I'll flip it around so you got the back of it. So there's the back side. And then the Panther was the other one. So here's your front side for the Panther. And I always love, like, the face thing that they do with the cockpit. And then here's the rear side on the Panther. And again, like I said, I always encourage you to take creative liberties with that, because these are all just the normal paint jobs that they have in the vanilla game. So, like, I'm not saying that the paint jobs are bad, but I'm sure you could probably do a lot better with your imagination. Alright, let's get into this. Let's get stuck in. See if we can blow something up. Alright, so we're gonna ditch the APC. We're gonna put in the Hollander. We'll give Bolo his inaugural mission. And honestly, I don't know if I want to risk the grasshopper. Oh, that's okay, Car. I mean, if you're just getting into the game or you're just getting back into it, especially if you're doing one of the mod packs, it can be a little rough. But I always recommend just perseverance. Watch videos. Watch my videos. There's plenty of other creators out there that do streams and videos of BTA and the vanilla game, so it's a great source of information about how to play the game a little better, how to understand the tactical layout of the maps and stuff like that. So, I mean, the game is definitely worth it if you put the time in, but it can be a little rough. I tell you what, though, I think what I'm going to do here is we are going to swap Wolfbanes into their... I'm going to ditch the Commando, and we're going to put Bolo on the Grasshopper, and we'll put the Grasshopper on the field. It's unmodified, but I would rather have a Grasshopper over a Commando. That's just my personal opinion on the matter. Hi, Graveline. Well, enjoy your pizza. Hopefully we'll see you again before the stream's over, but that just depends on how long this takes. But here we go. Getting stuck into a blackout mission, so have no idea what we're going to be getting ourselves into. Yeah, you know, Sierra, I always hear people talk about XCOM as like, yeah, the early game is really hard and you lose a lot of people. Ah, well, Bolo, you missed me swapping you out of the Hollander and putting you in the Grasshopper. But other than that, we're just now getting started on the mission. But yeah, like, everybody talks about XCOM in the beginning, how you lose a lot of your people and all that. But to me, that was always the appeal of the game. Like, to me, that the risk of losing your people and having that death spiral is what makes the game exciting. Because XCOM, and especially, like, the modern XCOM games, have that kind of power creep problem where eventually you get towards the end and you just snowball and you're just stomping everyone. And that's fun too. Like I can enjoy the power fantasy, but at the same time it makes the game kind of boring in the late game. Because then it's like, oh yeah, all of my dudes are wearing, you know, the best armor in the game with the best weapons in the game. And especially in the newer XCOMs, you also have all the skills and stuff. And a lot of those skills, especially the right combinations of skills, get to be super overpowered. Like, you know, in XCOM 1, the whole have a sniper with a jetpack, and then they basically just jetpack the first turn and proceed to lay waste to everybody. The game wasn't really fun at that point. Yeah, Longmore definitely made it a different game. It made it feel more like classic XCOM. Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, that's part of the reason that I enjoyed Terra Invicta when it came out. You know, that because if you didn't know, it's developed by the same team that made the Long War mods. Um, but it kind of had the same problem where once you got to a certain point in the mid game, you just started to snowball, and then the game basically lost all the challenge. Like I really enjoy the early game of Terra Invicta, but after the mid game, it turns into a slog. Like, it takes so long to do anything, but there's not really any risk either. So, like, even though you're spending all this time doing all this stuff, like, at that point, you've already won the game. You're just going through the motions. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Terra Invicta, and it's a great game. But I think it suffers from the same problem where the late game is kind of weak. Well, I know certain people. By the way, for those of you that don't know, we have been graced by BattleTech royalty. The BPL Tex, Mr. Tex himself. Welcome to the stream. Glad to see you. Glad you could make it. And I would accept nothing less from you if you were using anything beyond Irby's. Well... Oh, see, I hadn't thought of that. I apologize. Everybody, forget what you've heard for the last 15 seconds or so. But again, Mr. Tex of the Black Pants Legion himself, give him a hail and hearty welcome. For we are undeserving of his company, and yet he graces us with it all the same. We are quite a few more hours than 10 into this playthrough. We are slowly crawling our way out of the gutter. Oh, Lance Comp is all over the place. We got a Centurion, we just picked up a Grasshopper, I've got an Artillery Hollander in here, and of course we're still running around with vehicle trash. So it's a little bit of everything, whatever we manage to throw together. It is the goulash of Lance compositions. Well, the Grasshopper is stock standard. The Centurion, we're using an LBX-10. It's about the most powerful weapon we were able to get our hands on currently, so we've only just made it out of the early game, and we're still trying to put something effective together. Well, I haven't made it quite that far. We started in the Concordant at the very beginning of the campaign, and so we've slowly been working our way galactic north to try to make it to civilized space, I suppose is the best way to put it.
On my way. Affirmative. I'm walking here.
But I would not turn my nose up at an arrow. If we could get our hands on at least one, I wouldn't even care if it was an Irby with an arrow for. I would take it. In the meantime, we're having to use our Thumper Hollander. Uh-oh. Oh, we're gonna have to jump out of the hole on this one. Got a bad roll on the landing. Yeah, here's our Thumper Artillery Hollander. Yeah, exactly. We always go home for the holidays, but when it's time to work, we head to the core systems.
Confirmed.
Alright, let's see. I'm not sure if I want to rush the galleon up front, but... yeah, that's what I always do. I mean, I'm pretty sure one of the earlier streams that we were in, one of the assassination missions that I still get PTSD from, was a mission where we were getting hit by... well, we were definitely getting hit by an arrow, but I'm pretty sure it was an urban mech. It might not have been, though. It's easier. I mean, we're not picking up anything up here, so I guess we're not going to get the mission to trigger until we actually get to the zone.
Confirmed.
Which is pretty typical of blackouts. Yeah, I gotta say, artillery is probably my favorite addition to the game from both BTA and RogueTech.
Coordinates received.
It's one of the things that I think the vanilla game was really missing. It's such a key part of basically any modern military doctrine, and yet it was completely missing from the game at launch. So, yeah, that the mods have added it, I think, adds a whole lot of tactical depth. Not to mention, I just like flinging artillery at people from so far away they don't even know where it's coming from. But that's just me. Maybe I'm the weird one.
Heading out.
Alright, we're in the target zone. Oh, we need one more unit of the target zone. Alright, we can make that happen.
Got it.
Alright, what are we dealing with? Turrets powering up. Oh, lovely! Why not? Let's walk into a trap. So we're gonna survive the trap. What happens after that, I wonder? Okay. Trench bucket, we can make this work. Just gotta get line of sight is all. What the hell is going on here? Oh, I see. I see. Got it. Well, I guess we'll position ourselves accordingly. What kind of turrets are we dealing with here? Flamers, SRMs, is that what they're all gonna be? I only got some LRMs there. And a medium laser shotgun, alright. Why not? Well, unfortunately for you guys, I also happen to have brought a whole lot of close-range weaponry. So this may not work out for you quite the way you planned. And we got the Hunchy. Might as well run this dude up in here. That AC-20 is going to come in handy here in just a second.
Rolling.
And the Hollander, now that we know where the enemy is, we're gonna roll this guy back a little bit.
Heading out.
This is true. The sage wisdom. I mean, that's basically the Irby motto. Or, I'm sorry, the Hunchy motto is always be war crimin'. Which, unfortunately, and I was telling the chat this earlier in the stream, but we were committing some hunchback heresy in the mech lab, I think, last stream. And unfortunately, Bloody Doves, in his update that they released today, they nerfed the loaders for cannons by adding a 30% jam chance on them and kind of shut down that idea. Which is sad, because we had a little bit of a plan going, and he kind of punched holes in it. I'm gonna move the galleon around the back here. Try and get some elevation, because I got a feeling there's gonna be more after these turrets. Alright, hit me with your best shot.
Minimal damage on that hit.
And once again,
Damage?
absolutely everybody wants to shoot the Centurion.
System holding.
See, that sounds nice. I think the more fire, the better. And it absolutely fits with the whole, you know, commit war crimes thing. Because it's kind of hard to commit war crimes faster than with a flamethrower, especially if you have 8 of them.
Got it.
Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh, damn it. I forgot. He's not in the Commando, he's in the Hollander. Shit. Alright. Well, we'll make it work. Question mark.
This should be good.
Oh wow, that's a lot more effective against the turret than I thought it would be. Well, of course, a sway back is always fun, but you gotta make sure that you put at least a 300 core in it, otherwise it doesn't go fast enough. But yeah, there are few jobs that a hunchback cannot competently pull off.
Copy that.
All you need is the right weapon systems and a pilot stupid or crazy enough to pilot the damn thing. And you can do just about anything.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think... I don't want to get too close in there with this, because, I mean, it's a Panther.
Locking on and firing it all.
I think that's probably one of the most fun types of campaigns to run. And I think, if I remember right, Tex, that's what you're doing as well. Where you basically run a campaign and kind of... You house rule yourself to say, I'm only going to use one type of mech. Like, I'm only going to use urban mechs, or I'm only going to use hunchbacks. And then you just force yourself to only use and salvage those systems.
What's the plan?
Those runs can be fun, although they usually don't last very long. Well, I don't even think we're gonna move with Sparrow. I think we just stand and deliver with the AC-20, because what else would you do?
Target confirmed.
And there goes all the armor in a single shot. Listen, Karos, don't be tempting me with the awesome. You know how I feel about it, and you know how disappointed I am that we don't already have one. So don't go getting my hopes up by talking about it. And of course, we're going to give them the full alpha, because that's what we do. That's literally the only strategy that we know.
Commander?
And let's get our trench bucket. As a matter of fact, I don't even think we need to... Well, we should probably move. At least a little bit. Try and get a little evasion. 2 pips is better than nothing, I guess. This boy's almost dead. This one's probably going to last a little bit longer. I think we take out the shotgun here. Oh yeah, the awesome is my favorite. Is my favorite mech out of the entirety of the BattleTech franchise. The awesome is at the top of the list for me. But holy shit, Erst, the generosity. Thank you very much for gifting the sub to Mr. Tex. And Mr. Tex, welcome into what I am affectionately calling the cult of bad tactical decisions.
Firing. Enemy eliminated.
Because I do what's fun, not what is correct.
Commander?
Sometimes you just have to DFA. Because that's the only thing you can do.
Okay, everybody. Let's hit him with
Why is it always the galleon? I mean, to be fair, Erst, the commander can't die. So, if anybody's gonna die, it's gonna be you.
Commander.
Wait, I didn't say that out loud, didn't I?
Acknowledged.
Alright. And now, whatever's gonna happen next happens next, right? No? Oh, are we gonna do this a second time? Alright.
orders?
I was thinking the enemy would be coming from somewhere else.